Welcome to Post-Colonial Space. I'm Masood Raja, and today I'll be talking about a slightly different and political topic, but also something that's close to my heart and what I have reached this moment of recording something on it through deep reflection over the past few months. So in my opinion, Muslims in United States, no matter where they come from, what their sect is, whether they are formally going to a mosque or just nominally Muslims, in my humble opinion, Muslims should become a loose political constituency. Now, what prompted me to think about this in these terms? And you can watch my video on Palestine and on Gaza that I recorded earlier. What prompted me was that I openly, clearly condemned Hamas's attack on Israel and taking of hostages. Yeah, I took a stand on that. But then I also went on in my YouTube video, also on my posts on Threads, to argue that what Israel is doing in Gaza, the killing of civilians, the bombing of children, and the evidence is out there, even on the main media channels, that is also absolutely wrong and immoral and against international law. Now, when I posted this on Threads, the response was swift. One person basically tried to argue that simply because people of Gaza had elected Hamas, it was somehow okay for Israel to kill the children. Another person basically told me that this is war. So all these people were justifying murder of children by IDF. Then one person who's probably a school teacher on her profile openly called me Hamas. So I took down the post because, to be very honest, I do not have the energy anymore to get involved in online spats with people. But it taught me a lesson. And the lesson was that we, who are technically Muslims like me or are practicing Muslims in the United States, according to the 2020 census, there are 4.5 million of us, yes, scattered across United States. We have our social organizations, right? We have CARE, right? We have MPAC, the Muslim Public Affairs Council, but we do not have an umbrella organization that has its journalists, its intellectuals, its people who come together and reach out to the Muslim people in the United States and develop a unified perspective, a list of requests, a list of demands, something that we can take to people who come calling and want our vote, right? And say, here are our priorities. A two-state solution between Palestine and Israel is one of them. Where do you stand on that? Now, I know I cannot do it. I mean, I'm nobody, right? But I think and I write. So that's my share of doing it. There are people way more accomplished and more powerful than me within the Muslim community of United States. But I think they should start thinking about it. Now, another thing that came through to me through my social media posts was that at one time on Threads, I did post this very idea that the Muslims should become a constituency and we should withhold our vote until we know that the candidate asking for our votes is somewhat aligned with what our hopes and aspirations are. And the response was immediately swift. And one of the things that came through that was, so do you want Trump to become president? So the idea was that since we want to stop Trump from becoming president, we should somehow vote for Mr. Biden, despite the fact that we disagree with his Middle East steps that he has taken since the invasion of Gaza, right? And it's not just us. Senator Bernie Sanders openly in the Senate said that giving $10 billion to Israel is giving money to a right-wing government whose mission is to slowly obliterate the remainder of Palestinian lands, whose ministers actually talk of ethnic cleansing, right? Of replacing Gaza's population after cleaning the place up. This is not me making this thing up. So I am supposed to vote for Biden because Trump, right? And in that conversation, too, what came across really clearly to me that somehow even voicing my opinion in building a constituency, a loose constituency, a political organization for Muslims, was seen as something that I was not permitted to say. This is America, okay? No one can tell me that as a public intellectual, I cannot suggest a thing and I cannot say a thing, right? Especially those who claim to be progressive and liberal. Now, mind you, these responses didn't come from the right-wing people. They came from the so-called liberals and progressives, of whom I'm a part. But I can only be a part of that if I toe the line. If I somehow start developing my own ideas, I suddenly become suspect. So, I don't have a method to it. I do not know how it will happen, but I just want to put it out there. Those of you who are part of the Muslim populations in concentration in cities or spread across United States, I think it's time that the leadership, those who have leadership positions within the Muslim communities, to start having a conversation about building a unified but loosely connected, a rhizomatic organization, constituency of Muslims, where we elect our leaders, where they go out and canvass the population, canvass the people, and ask them where they stand, and then a constituency that can then fight for what the people have unanimously or, in terms of majority, decided as their agenda. That would be a good start. Of course, we don't have the numbers, right? But to have an organization, an umbrella organization that makes it its mission to voice the aspirations, the hopes, and the objections of the Muslim community in the United States will be a good start. And then we can build on that. So these are some of the ideas that I thought I should share today as someone who does public work. And as I said, these are not fully formed, coherent ideas or plans. These are just aspirational thoughts. And I hope they mean something to you. If you find it useful, please mention it in the comments. If you have any other great ideas, please do share. And most importantly, please pass this message along to others. That's all. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Take care of each other. And as always, from me to you, peace and love.